What's good, everybody? My name is James Jackson. I am outside. I was ready to talk about what we're going to be a lot of people are going to be talking about tomorrow, which is, of course, the Canon C50. Now, I will be going live with my buddy Simon Yates, who has the channel Ordinary Filmmaker. So if you want to get our live reactions as Canon announces this camera tomorrow, make sure to swing over Ordinary Filmmaker's channel. I'll leave a link in the description, or I'll try to leave a link to the stream up here if I have that in time. Probably not, but I'll leave a link to his channel so you can make sure to check us out. But literally, as I was getting ready to hit record on this camera, news just broke. It looks like Canon Rumors is getting what they're calling the basic specs and knowledge about the C50 and what is going to be announced tomorrow. Now, I should say this, we'll be very, very cautious, and I'm going to say be very, very cautious, because literally the specifications of what we heard about this camera has been all over the place. First, they were saying this is going to be taking a lot of the specs from the R5 II. That, all accounts, does not look to be the case at all. It's going to be a completely different sensor and setup. Then we were hearing that it's going to have some things like only SD cards, and it's going to shoot 4K 120 with a crop. And that was the running case, but even that is changing. So here is what Canon and Rumors is reporting. Because I'll be honest, before this, I just read this, I was going to be a lot more critical. But I will say this: if this is the basic specs and this turns out to be true, good job on you, Canon. Props to you. I think this is a much more intriguing, exciting camera. But let's get into it. So here are the basic specifications of the camera. So it's said it's going to shoot 7K up to 60 frames a second in internal RAW. So, and by accounts, this looks like it's going to actually be what everybody's been reporting, is that it's going to be a 32 megapixel sensor. 7K, 60 frames a second, internal RAW, 4K 120 with no crop. So that's what they're reporting now. The reporting before was that there was going to be a crop. Now they're saying, no, there is going to be no crop in 4K 120, which is good. That still doesn't makes it seem like it will be any oversampling. It could very well be some line skipping or pixel binning, but at the end of the day, if the quality looks good, that's ultimately what matters. It will be shooting open gate, so meaning it's going to shoot 7K open gate. Will it shoot 60 frames per second 7K open gate? That we don't know. I would say for right now, let's just say it's going to probably shoot 7K up to 30 frames a second in open gate. So it's going to be a 32.3 megapixel stills photo resolution. So that's what they're coming. It has a max burst rate of 40 frames per second. So that's why why I don't believe it's going to shoot the open gate at 60 frames per second, mainly because the max burst rate is 40 frames per second. So odds are, I would say it's going to be open gate up to 30 frames per second. Now, is it 10-bit 422 or 10-bit 420 like the Lumix cameras? We don't know. So that's all wait and see. Here's where it also gets it. It's going to have dual CF Express Type B card slot, but also a single SD card slot. So there's going to be 3 media slots available in this camera. So, which would be amazing. So that means you could do backup recordings, and at the highest, you can get the highest amount of data out of this camera. That means they can really push the quality, which is ultimately what we want with this. So if this was the thing that I sort of tripped me out and sort of made me sort of fall back on my excitement, mainly because if it was just going to be dual SD card slots, then it would really limit the capabilities of the camera, because data couldn't transfer as fast as saying using CF Express Type B. But the fact that it's not only going to be using CF Express Type B, again, rumored, if the rumors are true, the fact that it's using CF Express Type B, but also using dual CF Express Type B. That is a major boost. And my guess is the SD card slot is going to be used for proxies. It's going to have the dual pixel CMOS new AF2, and it's going to have a dual base ISO, not a triple base ISO. So no triple base ISO, it's a dual base ISO. And they say it's going to be just under $4,000. So that is what it's going to be. They also got pictures of the camera itself that we finally can see. Some of the images got leaked out later. I'm going to be showing the images and what that looks like right now. And as you guys can clearly see, it has a top handle. It actually has a legitimate top handle, because based on the video that was released, it looked like it could just be an XLR shoe, but no, it's a full-on top handle, which is fantastic. And you have those 2 screws on the side, which will hold it in place better. That is beautiful. I think that will be one of the best, people are going to say one of the best top handles. And based on the pictures that we've seen before, these are, which were rumored and released before. So there's a lot of customizable buttons, as you guys are seeing right now. Buttons all the way. There's like 3 different record buttons that we can see just from this front view one of the camera. Like I said, it's got the quarter 20 points where you can mount the top handle and have that XLR adapter, which is great. It definitely looks from the side, and from the side leaked photo, it looks a lot thicker than the FX3, which is what I have right here. Not too much. I wouldn't say it looks too much bigger. I would say it is slightly thicker than the FX3. So, but not too much bigger. Maybe a little bit thicker in the top portion, but that's about it. But so now looking at the IO ports, it looks like we're good on the IO ports. We're getting a full-size HDMI, which is great to see from that Canon. We're getting a mic port, we're getting a headphone port, we're getting, looks like a USB-C port. Hopefully that can do some other great things with it. We'll see. But the most important thing, and the thing that I think that's definitely going to set this apart from Lumix's cameras, but as well as the FX3, is the fact that it has a physical BNC timecode. It's a mini BNC, but it's still a BNC timecode port, which is what we want to see. I'm so glad, because that was one of the things I was concerned, because I wasn't hearing anything about timecode, that it wouldn't be there. But now that we have seen it, it is there. This is much better than some of the things that have been released recently, where you're using Bluetooth time code, which can be problematic on its own. This physical time code is always the way to go. And the fact that it's a BNC, something that has been standard for decades, this is amazing. So the fact to have that, obviously, I don't expect SDI ports. That's what I wasn't expecting. So a couple other things that to be of note that wasn't there, but again, from the rumors that are reporting, the last rumor that there wasn't going to be any IBIS in the camera. So depending on which side you fall in, I kind of fall in to, generally I'm no IBIS, because just so you don't have those microchips where you don't want to use IBIS. But given the fact that this is more for like a handheld, more versatile camera, having IBIS when you just want to walk around does help. But I'm generally in the camp of no IBIS. And if y'all been following my channel for a while, I've been saying IBIS is probably the most overrated feature of the camera for video. So, but I do see its frequencies, but I think it's the importance of it, at least for me, has been overblown. So, what do I like about this camera based on what we now know? I'm glad that it has internal RAW. That I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that, but at that time, that was because I was seeing that there was only going to be SD card slots, and that was the rumor. And based on that, I didn't see how having a 7K RAW internally was going to be really that beneficial, because you would have to compress it so severely to get it on media card slot that it may not be that worth it. But but again, if this is true that the CF Express Type B cards are going to be in the camera, then that changes everything. Like literally, the media cards was the biggest hindrance and the biggest for me. However, if this is what is going to be in the media cards, meaning it's going to be 2 CF Express Type B cards, this changes the whole game, and this makes it all of a sudden now all the possibilities that we could have with this camera is possible. So internal RAW recording, we're going to potentially have 10-bit 422 open gate, because it's 422 10-bit and not 10-bit 420. It's a true robust codec with robust media that can handle it. So I'm excited about that. So I don't anticipate Canon to put 10-bit 420. That's not like Canon. Canon will try to put the best. The question is, will there be an open gate RAW option? Now, if Canon can put out an open gate RAW option, that's a whole other different thing. But I don't know if the processor can handle it. We'll see. We know Media CF Express Type B can handle it, because they're used on Ursa City 12Ks, and the Pixis 12K and the Pixis 6K, where they use CF Express Type B and they can shoot open gate, so the media can handle it. The question is the processor in the camera going to be good enough, and will it have enough power to do that? That's the real question. But either way, this is very, very exciting. For me, this is an exciting camera. I'm more and more excited about this now than I was before. So hopefully these new spec announcements is true, because this changes, to me, again, the media cards, the internal RAW reporting, and the fact that there's no crop in 4K 120. That was the other thing. No crop in 4K 120 is what they're saying. 7K RAW and dual CF Express Type B cards. Those are some of the things that I feel, okay, this will make it a much more interesting camera. And yeah, look, I'm still hesitant. I'll be honest, I'm still hesitant if I'm going to like switch or sell, especially given the fact that it looks like it's going to be closer to that $4,000 price point, not the $3,000 price point that I was hoping for. With these specs, look, at the same time, I get it, but I'm also looking at it like for me, that's a much harder sell. But I think if what we're seeing is true, it can merit. However, I just look at it like, if you're getting $4,000, because the other thing I guess is I don't expect built-in NDs. The fact that built-in NDs were not talked about in any of the rumors, that tells me the odds are there isn't going to be built-in NDs. So without built-in NDs, this is just a little bit less than the C70, and I'm like, with the C70 you can get SDI, you get all the things that you get here, and you get built-in NDs. And being like, if it's around that $4,000 price tag, being only $1,500 less than a C80, that you see where I'm getting at, where it starts getting harder and harder to get it. But if you're someone that's been looking for this sort of body style, I think, regardless of what I think this is going to be a very, very popular camera. I think this is going to sell. I think this is going to be a big hit. Me personally, it's just what I can do with this camera. One, the fact that this has already got a place where I say I got this and immediately my eligibility of getting hired goes a lot higher. I need to see how this plays out a little more before I look at getting one for me, if I'm going to get one. But I am really excited for people that are not necessarily in my position or in my situation, where they're just looking for a good camera. I think this is a hard camera to squeeze. Again, if all the rumors are true, I think right now, without knowing the official specs, who do I think this is going to be really big for? I think this is going to be big for weddings. I think Canon's about to dominate weddings. Canon was already pretty dominant in weddings, but they're going to be ever so more dominant in weddings now with this camera. I think they're going to dominate real estate with this camera. I think they're going to dominate a lot more in the content creation with this camera if all this comes true. So we'll see. Anyways, I would love to know, what do you guys think of these new specs? I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know, leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.